Hello guys, and welcome to another video. Okay, so what we have on the bench today is a black and white TV from I don't know when, probably early 70s, mid 70s. I don't know. It looks like in great shape. I bought it yesterday and it was about 10 bucks, and I didn't know what to expect. I said that's 10 bucks wasted. But what is interesting about it is that it has no cracks. It looks okay. The antenna, wirings and covers, everything is in place, or looks to be in good condition. It's heavy, and the interesting part is that it was made in the USSR back in the day. It is capable of getting 12 volts from your car's adapter or lighter socket, so it could be used in camping and in the car back in the 80s and the 70s. It's called the Silelis 405D1, made in the USSR, and it's pretty decent. Nothing huge or ugly. On the contrary, this is a great, well-built, looks very robust television from the past. I can see some Cyrillic here. Now it's been adjusted for 220, so it could be working at home. Here is vertical and horizontal hold, couple of trimmers, a huge antenna. I'm not going to deploy right now, and this is the other antenna input right here, which is UHF input, instead of hooking things and wires over the regular antenna. It was a pretty decent socket in there, waiting for analog signals to come in. Now, since we don't have analog signals anymore, this is pretty heavy. I think I'm going to test it somehow using an old computer. It's the only power that I can think of source for analog signal. I will try to use an old 8-bit computer from the 80s to hook it up on this TV and check if this works or not. Now, a few things about tuning. Of course, it's this big knob here, manual tuning, and there are a spectrum or different phases and mode you can go through. That's VHF here, 2 to 4, 5 to 12, VHF, and then you play with the knob and you get your signal locked somewhere. And this is UHF 21 to 68, which means that around this area, and using this UHF option, we should be able to find an old ZX Spectrum, an old Commodore 64 signal somewhere, playing with this knob somewhere around here. Now the rest is a big volume switch right up there, brightness and contrast buttons. I have my syringe ready-made here with alcohol in case I need to put some alcohol around the trimmers and clean them. And the same goes for those two, vertical and horizontal hold. So very, very interesting. I believe it is rare that you can find something like this in working order. Now, to be honest, yesterday I plugged this in mains, and there was a buzzing sound coming out of it. Something like buzzing, constant straight sound, that it was like something is about to explode now. And I said to myself, just put it on the side, we can deal with it tomorrow. But today is tomorrow, and so I plugged it in mains before I could even start with this video, and there was no sound. So there was probably what I can think of is it was humidity or something around there, and it was gone. And now now that the noise is gone, I'm going to plug it in again and put it over here, over this old other TV, and start playing with this. And now there's somewhere an on-off switch right there, and there is no sound, buzzing sound or weird sound coming out. Okay, but we have something. We have static. We have, okay, let's see. No volume. Anyways, now I'm going to hook up an 8-bit computer, a source of analog signal in any case, to see if we can get an image out of it. It looks like it's working, and I'm very happy and pleased about it. So I'll be back in a flash. And so, since we don't have analog signals anymore around the neighborhood, I have asked my little Commodore 64, my friend here, to help me, and we can borrow its signal and check the reception over channel 36 UHF, the way they used to do it back in the day. And it looks quite impressively sharp. The image coming from the Commodore is RF. Let's take a closer look at it. I think it's quite crispy, and so we can tell now that this little Russian TV works just fine. Okay, I'm going to also put a game cartridge inside the Commodore and check again. That's the way it used to be back in the 80s. If you are lucky enough to have this little TV to hook up your computer to. Okay, here we have it. I have inserted this Super Games cartridge inside Commodore 64, and I believe we can have a better overview of the image quality on the screen. I can see some distortion that couldn't be identified in the prompt power up or booting screen, and now I can see some distortion on the upper part side of the image, but overall I cannot complain. Let's see how it looks. Let's try to play a game. Come on. Not that bad. Now, what? Distortion has gone. I don't believe it. Well, it looks okay to me for almost 60-year-old television from the Soviet Union. Okay, switching off. This particular model is called the Silelis 405D1, and it was made for the internal markets within the Soviet Union. There was another model which was called the Euromatic 405D, which was made in order to be exported to the rest of Europe. For now, and according to today's standards, Silelis, this model is highly collectible because it was made for USSR only. On the other hand, Euromatic 405D is pretty common, but still could be an interesting piece of your collection. The receiver for VHF UHF with manual tuning, as we said, was based around these three options: 2 to 4 for VHF, 5 to 12 VHF, 21 to 68 UHF, and we are somewhere around here according to the indicator and according to the signal we have on the screen. We are now locked on channel 36. Here is the volume button, brightness and contrast, basic stuff. The screen is 16 centimeters, which means 6 inch, and actually it was made in Lithuania. If I got this right, the factory was called Kauno, Radijo, Gamykla, and it was based in Kaunas, Lithuania, back in the day. So here I have decided to give it another try and put my ZX Spectrum on, and it is amazing how crystal clear, although black and white, the image can be after all these years. It was a dream to have your own television back in the day, as everybody was trying to watch the news on the telly and you wanted to just play with your computer. There were not many TV sets scattered around the house back then. So yes, channel 36, ZX Spectrum. I guess a second test has been conducted and it's crystal clear. I'm very pleased with this little TV. You know, back in the day it was a bit controversial, something that during the 70s and the 80s they were saying that something that is Russian cannot be working well, or something like this as a teaser, but apparently after 60 years or so this telly still works. So I guess that was all for today. That was all for this little television from the Soviet Union back in the 70s. I'm happy that it is still in working order and I can conduct some tests. I'm gonna leave it here in the laboratory and start working with it. Maybe get rid of the big one and have this as little testing machine for RF tests wherever and whenever it is needed. So I'll catch you soon with another video, I hope soon, if time permits. And thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, you know the drill. Leave us a comment, especially if you have some experience with this, previous experience using this device as a kid or whatever. If you remember how it was, and or if you still have one, yeah, put a comment down below, and I'll catch you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.